The first thing I noticed was how tense her hand felt when it brushed against mine, like she was holding something fragile inside her chest and trying not to let it crack. Then she leaned closer. Too close for strangers. "Smile," she whispered, her voice barely steady. "My ex is watching us." For a second, I thought she was joking. People don't just say things like that to someone they've never met. But when I turned slightly, following the direction of her eyes, I saw him, standing near the edge of the outdoor cafe, arms crossed, staring like he was waiting for a scene to unfold. And suddenly, it didn't feel like a joke anymore. I looked back at her. She was already forcing a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. Those told the real story: fear, exhaustion, and something deeper, like she'd been fighting this battle for a long time. "Please," she added quietly. "Just for a minute." I nodded. "Sure," I said, offering the most convincing smile I could manage. "Wouldn't want to ruin our date." Her shoulders dropped just a little, like she could finally breathe. She shifted even closer, her arm sliding through mine, her head tilting toward my shoulder. To anyone watching, we probably looked like a couple, comfortable, familiar, maybe even happy. But up close, I could feel her trembling. "I'm Ethan," I murmured under my breath. "Lena," she replied. "Okay, Lena," I said gently. "You're safe for now." For the next few minutes, we played our roles. I asked her about her favorite travel spots, and she answered like we'd known each other for years. We laughed, real laughter, somehow slipping through the cracks of the situation. I told a ridiculous story about getting lost in Chicago, and she leaned into it, teasing me like it was an old joke between us. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the guy shift uncomfortably. Good. But when I risked another glance, I noticed something that made my chest tighten. He wasn't just watching. He was waiting. And there was anger in his posture, not the loud kind, but the controlled, dangerous kind. "Is he?" I started. "Yeah," she said softly, her smile still fixed. "He doesn't like losing." That one sentence told me everything I needed to know. "Then we don't rush this," I said. "We make it believable." She hesitated. "Why are you helping me?" I thought about it for a second. The truth was, I didn't have a grand reason. No heroic backstory. Just a feeling. "Because you asked," I said simply. Something in her expression changed, like she wasn't used to that answer. We kept talking, stretching the moment longer than either of us expected. At some point, she relaxed a little for real. Her grip on my arm softened. Her laughter became less forced. And then, after what felt like both forever and no time at all, the guy finally turned and walked away. We both watched until he disappeared around the corner. Only then did she pull back. The smile vanished from her face instantly, replaced by something raw and shaken. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded, then shook her head. "I don't know," she admitted. I gestured toward the empty chair across from me. "You don't have to rush off. Sit. For real this time." She hesitated again, but this time, it wasn't fear. It was uncertainty. Like she wasn't sure she deserved a moment of calm. Then she sat a day. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. The world around us went back to normal, coffee cups clinking, people chatting, cars passing by. It was strange how quickly everything could look ordinary again. "He wasn't supposed to be here," she said finally. I changed my routine. I thought I was done with all that. "With him?" She nodded. "Was he?" I didn't finish the question. "Not always," she said. "That's what makes it confusing. He could be kind. Charming. The kind of person everyone likes." She paused. But when things didn't go his way, it was like a switch flipped. I'd seen that before. Not personally, but enough to recognize the pattern. "You don't owe him anything," I said. "I know that," she replied quickly. Then, softer, it just doesn't always feel that simple. I leaned back slightly, giving her space. Hey, I said gently. You handled that really well. She let out a small, humorless laugh. By dragging a stranger into it. By asking for help instead of facing it alone. That landed differently. She looked at me like she was trying to decide whether to believe me. Most people don't help, she said. They pretend they don't see. Yeah, I admitted. That happens a lot. So why didn't you? I shrugged. Because I did see. Silence again, but this time, it wasn't awkward. It was thoughtful. You know, she said after a moment, I almost didn't ask you. What changed your mind? You looked safe. I smiled a little. I'll take that as a compliment. It is, she said. We ended up talking longer than either of us planned. About small things at first, work, cities, random memories. But slowly, the conversation shifted into something deeper. She told me about rebuilding her life after leaving him. About the night she doubted herself. About the quiet strength it took just to feel normal again. And I listened. Not because I had answers, but because sometimes, being heard is the answer. At one point, she said something that stuck with me. I used to think kindness was weakness, she admitted. He made me feel like it was something to fix. And now? She looked at me for a long second. Now I think it might be the strongest thing there is. I didn't say anything right away. Because she was right. Kindness isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to win. It just shows up, quietly, consistently, when it matters most. Can I ask you something? She said. Of course. Did you ever think today would turn out like this? I laughed softly. Not even a little. Me neither. She glanced toward the street again, but this time, there was no fear in her eyes. Just awareness. I think I'll be okay, she said. I think you will too. She smiled, really smiled this time. Would it be weird, she asked, if I stayed a little longer? Not because I need help, but because I want to. Not weird at all, I said. I was hoping you would. So she did. And somewhere between the coffee getting cold and the sun starting to dip lower in the sky, something shifted. What started as a moment of fear turned into something else entirely. Trust. Connection. A reminder that even in unexpected places, humanity shows up in the form of a stranger willing to pretend for a few minutes and stay for something real. Before she left, she paused. Ethan. Yeah? Thank you, and not just for earlier. I nodded. Anytime. She hesitated, then added, maybe next time, we won't have to pretend. I smiled. I'd like that. And as she walked away, stronger than when she arrived, I realized something simple, but powerful. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness don't just change a moment. They change the direction of someone's life. And sometimes, your own too.